it's a cool slide because it's the first time I've ever had like it's not an identity crisis, but I've fully taken a step back this past month and like I have tried to change up my Instagram, how it looks. I think the overall consensus is if it's cool and it's you, it's Instagram. Just post it. Like, it's not that deep. If you don't like it in 10 days, remove it. If it didn't do what you wanted on likes, which doesn't matter, remove it. Like, it's Instagram, it's social media, whatever it is to promote yourself, just put it up, because nobody's going to look at it like an album. That's the one thing we're lucky lucky in our industry, and really any industry outside of photography and fashion, or any industry outside of music and fashion. Nobody looks at like sales. Nobody's going to be like, oh, I don't want to work with him anymore because he completely fumbled that picture. Like, it was terrible. Like, nobody cares. It's not like you sold 4K sales on an album. Their fans are now digging on you. Like, you could have had a bad picture, but if you liked it enough to post it, it's you. Like, you can remove it later. Just post it. It's really not that deep. It's not an exhibit. You don't have to have too much purpose behind it, unless that is what your Instagram is. Which, if that's it, commit, because the first person or the last person to do it is the first person to do it. In any situation, if somebody did it 15 years ago, and I do it now, and I do it 10 times, people are gonna know me for that, not that photographer, most likely. So, whoever the last person to do something is most likely the first person to do it, in the sense of originality. And like I said, don't copy, obviously, but if you need even Virgil talked about with his 3% rule. If you got to take something, change it 3%. Change the pose up, change the lighting up, change up anything, and that's now your image, and it's slightly different from this. It's a great approach to really committing to and having a digital presence in that. And then I think the main thing is that we got to talk about for this is you got to understand your marketplace. When I came to Atlanta, came from this terrible town called Beaufort, South Carolina. When I came to Atlanta, the main thing that I saw nobody doing was compositing, which is like I'll take a photo with somebody and I'll get 15 images that are usually royalty-free images. I'll get 15 images and I'll mix it all in together so it looks like one whole image. You'll see it a lot on Instagram with like landscapes. People will shoot a landscape of like, this looks cool, but let me composite in a new sky. And now let me composite in another mountain back there, maybe some goats here. So I came in doing a lot heavier compositing because I knew nobody in Atlanta was doing that. So you have to understand how you position yourself in the marketplace. And sometimes it's outworking people, sometimes it's rarity, sometimes you're lucky. You can be the best at something. You can blow up for being the best at something. You can blow up for being lucky, or you can blow up for being original. And all three of those, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of people all across, just creatives, that blow up from being lucky, and that does not mean that they're bad. It's just good timing. A lot of people have better timing than others, and that's about it. So you really got to understand how you position yourself in the marketplace, and then look what other people in your city, like I said, talk money with people. I just remembered it, and I was looking at my DMs right before this. The first shoot I had, I DM'd Cam, and I was like, so how would you approach this budget? Cam being Cam, which, he's huge, and I'm like a 17-year-old photographer, like trying to judge something which he's so busy. I don't think he gave me a very general response about how it should be approached, which is everything's so vague in this industry in general. And so I say that not as a diss. That was just a thought I had of, I wonder what Cam Kirk charges. What does a Cam Kirk shoot look like? He has a whole studio. How much money does he bring in for a shoot? So I remember definitely understand how you position yourself in the marketplace, and how many people are doing what you're doing, and what are they charging? Who are they working with? And it's about remarketing. Find something that you like and bring it to a new market. And then as soon as you're there, you can evolve into whatever you need to evolve into. So I think that's a huge thing with that. And as far as really pitching yourself, You got to understand your client. That's a very vague thing. You got to understand your client. You got to make sure that you can get them excited. This artist I just worked with is probably the most reserved artist I ever worked. I think we talked maybe like 15 words on the shoot. I know he was so excited for it from like the team, and I know he loved it afterwards. But I think we talked maybe 15 words on the shoot. He's so reserved, and so it's so hard to gauge if somebody's excited or not. So you have to really just pander to whatever they need. And pander to them too. Sometimes with these artists, I'll go to their style. If they're used to shooting something that's way more low budget, all I'll do is I'll go to similar locations, similar to that, and then I'll just up it one thing. I'll change it one thing. I'll change one little part of the shoot. So you gotta understand your client. And like I talked about earlier, if it's a label, if it's the artist directly, you want to build a relationship with the artist because they might not stay at that label, and you might want something. A lot of these artists will shoot for free too, randomly. I could hit a lot of artists I know right now and be like, yo, what are you doing tomorrow? We can shoot. And that, again, is a free shoot that's going to blow you up. So you got to understand your client. You got to make them excited. That's the main thing. Just make them excited however you can. Think what's the next one? Oh yeah, we're gonna get to this in 1 second. I want to go back to this. As far as what you can provide to get them excited, you need to understand where your flexibility is. I know for me, I could come in on an editing side, I could come in on a photography side, I could fully take a step back from the camera and just creative direct the whole thing. I could photo assist. I know I'm confident in my lighting design, and I understand that is where what I can provide somebody. So if I really need to show it to them or show that it's possible, that's what I understand that I can provide to them at that point. And also, a lot of people will respect you if you can take a step back from what you usually do. If you're doing creative direction, and handling somebody else to shoot it, they'll also be excited about the idea that you see a bigger vision for whatever they see. You have to make the idea bigger than what they have already.